One Piece is known for many things, like a shit ton of things. These include being long, god-tier writing, god-tier foreshadowing, hot-ass husbandos, hot-ass waifus, and big chests. And these are just a few examples. However, one thing that One Piece is particularly good at is building hype. I mean, there's so much hype around certain characters that they can make the top 100 most popular character polls while having fewer appearances than Foxy has brain cells, which is, well, it's impressive. So today, we should be looking at how this show develops so much hype, and knowing me, we'll probably also look at Zoro's chest a few times. And not that I like it or anything, no, of course not. The most important factor when it comes to hype moments is the build-up. I mean, the entire moment relies on what happens before. To truly build hype, an author should be able to provide enough backstory to the moment that allows the moment to truly shine. The hype moment has to have a reason to exist, and of course, Oda does this amazingly. Like everything he does everything amazingly. Number 1 Oda simp, by the way. A slow build-up is quite possibly the thing Oda does best. I mean, he once hinted at a moment 791 chapters before it happened. Building up hype is something that Oda excels at, partly because of the length of the show. With the show being so long, hype can be built up over long periods of time, which makes the audience even more eager to finally see the moment. For example, Shanks. Shanks is probably the single most awaited character in the entire history of ever. The amount of hype around his character is insane, which is partly due to 4 very key moments. 5 if you count the spoiler moment. Firstly, Oda managed to hype up the moment when Shanks and Luffy would reunite through the very first chapter. Secondly, Shanks fighting Whitebeard, the so-called strongest man, also generated more hype around his character and his strength. Same thing. Next up, Shanks being announced as a Yonko. Shanks being one of the 4 strongest pirates in the entire world made the audience even more excited to see him in action. I mean, he's not only one of the most influential characters to our main character, but he's also hot. I mean, strong. Yep. Not that I'm attracted to him in any way. And finally, his meeting with the Gorosei. It showed us that more goes on with Shanks than we realize, and that Shanks is even more of a mystery than we think he is right now. And for manga readers, you know there's one more moment. What I'm trying to say is, this is a great example of how Oda builds up hype. He sprinkles in little bits about the character and allows the fanbase to run wild for a long time. I mean, Shanks hasn't done anything of significance other than stop the war in 1,070 plus chapters, yet he's still extremely hyped up and awaited. There are so many examples of this type of build-up, but by including little pieces of information on a character or subject and waiting to reveal it for a long time, Oda masterfully builds up unparalleled levels of hype. In line with this, Oda also builds up a lot of mystery around topics. Keeping up with the Shanks example, Oda has never shown Shanks go all out. It's up to the viewer to theorize exactly how strong he'll be, but we'll never know for sure until it's actually shown. Mysteries are something One Piece is full of, which further hypes up whatever the mystery is. I mean, there's so many mysteries in One Piece that fans are eagerly awaiting to be revealed. Who was Rocks? What is the One Piece? Why did Foxy exist? Well, all of these are mysteries that fans have been waiting to know for ages. Especially that last one. Please someone tell me why he existed. But for real, mysteries in One Piece are so common, yet all of them manage to hype up the fanbase. I mean, in any show, having a massive mystery revealed will always excite everyone. Oda is unique, however, in that his mysteries are always somehow world-changing. I mean, I don't think I've seen any other show with more than one world-changing mystery, but One Piece has like 17. Due to the sheer length of the series and the scale of the world, Oda can set up tons of mysteries that all can change the entire world of One Piece as we know it. However, there is one more key factor in setting up god-tier mysteries. Oda's ability to foreshadow. Oda's foreshadowing is god tier, which allows for mysteries to gather more and more hype. Anytime a mystery is revealed, tons of foreshadowing by Oda is brought into the light, which only further enhances the hype around the reveal. Oda's ability to constantly foreshadow things means that the fanbase hinges on to his every word, only creating more hype around the show. Oh yeah, by the way, let's talk about the fanbase for a second. This has nothing to do with Oda or the writing of One Piece at all, but I'm sure most of you have noticed that, well, One Piece theories are the king of One Piece YouTube right now, or just the One Piece fanbase in general. While I don't make theories, I'm sure all of you have realized that most channels out there do, which only further hypes up the show and mysteries around the show. Fan theories can be the most accurate theory ever or the least accurate one, yet they always build up more hype around the series. Trying to guess what happens before it happens is admittedly a fun thing to do, so a lot of fans latch onto theories and praise it like it's their god. Fan theories only add more hype to moments or characters, and I'd argue that they play a massive part in why One Piece is so hype. While One Piece itself is great at building up hype and exciting the audience, fan theories do play a part in exciting most of the fanbase as well. Though, to be fair, I personally don't get excited from fan theories. Zoro's chest, on the other hand. Another key factor in generating hype is what happens right before the moment. The slow build-up continues all the way until the moment itself actually happens, but the moments right before the big boom is what truly builds up hype. In One Piece, this is known as the pulling up with the homie shot. Crew shots in One Piece are essential to building up the maximum amount of hype for a moment. Seeing the crew gather before fighting the big bad villain or just any person is one of the hypest moments in all of One Piece. When you see the entire crew begin to walk together, you know shit's about to go down. The fight is going to be insane. Oh yeah, speaking of fights in One Piece are extremely hyped for a few reasons. Firstly, power scaling. Oda's a master at generating hype through numbers and titles, as every time Luffy or really any Straw Hat character fights a character with over 1 billion berry bounty, you get excited. In all honesty, anytime two Yonkos clash or even two Warlords crash, you get really excited because you know these are the best of the best. The fight is going to be one of the hypest things ever because Oda knows how to rally a fanbase through a system of bounties and titles he's created. Another reason fights are so hyped is because, well, you know what? I can't scream. Let's just play some clips. Screaming in fights, or as I like to call it, the entirety of Dragon Ball Z, is actually pretty good at creating hype if done right. Seeing characters put their heart and soul into a fight and seeing them go all out is extremely hype. I mean, come on, you have to admit, watching Luffy and Kaido go all out against each other was hype as shit. And if you weren't excited as shit watching Yamato and Luffy duo attack Kaido, then I don't know, you're wrong, go rewatch it. What I'm trying to say is, through insane action sequences and hockey clashes, One Piece managed to generate so much hype. I mean, hype through action was the entire point of One Piece Stampede. One Piece is a master at making action sequences that have you screaming. Or, in the case of when Zoro fights, screaming. I'm sorry. You know, I think I need to touch grass sometimes. But in all honesty, One Piece has some of the greatest action sequences I've ever seen, and to say that these are hype would be an understatement. And while I've already said a lot, there's one more key aspect that makes One Piece so hype. As I like to call it, the art of being a badass. The Straw Hats genuinely give zero shits. I mean, they go into every fight believing they'll win, which is already impressive. But to see all of them be able to casually talk about how Luffy will be the Pirate King before even fighting an opponent is so hype. The Straw Hats are all genuinely badasses, including Chopper. I mean, look at him. He's scary. But for real though, One Piece is really hype, and I think it's definitely due to the trait Oda possesses of being a god. Overall though, that's it for me. Thank you.